away and back out to center. That's tracked down by Weissblack. Picks up over the line. Weissblack stops. Looks to the point for Bryce Pickford. We'll play that around the boards. Jacob Mathieu now for Rimouski. Swings around in his own zone. Led the Quebec Maritime Junior Hockey League in playoff goal scoring with 17 goals. Here come the Tigers out to center. They connect with Hunter St. Martin down the wing, but this will go for a stoppage.
Power play that's operating at just under 37% in the playoffs. Of course, that features Gavin McKenna. You don't want to give him any more free touches of the puck.
Rimouski back into their own end. Just worked around the boards for Alexandre Blais. He's knocked down by St. Martin. Worked out to center. Pickford knocks it over. He was brilliant in the playoffs from a goal scoring perspective for Medicine Hat. He's got goals in 8 straight coming into this one tonight. 13 goals, 18 playoff games for Medicine Hat.
And there's a guy that's really going to benefit from playing this tournament. Passed over in the draft last year, and there's no way.
Front Mateko was there. Goes all the way back to center ice. Keowa recovers. And Mateko throws that in. That hit the protective netting. They don't call a show. There's no doubt about that. That goes undetected. But the puck gets out of the zone, so shouldn't matter now. Here goes Medicine Hat on the attack. There's a shot for Pickford. And the first great chance of the game is stopped by Matthews.
Gavin McKenna can do once he gets the puck on his stick.
That is the first shot of the game. Not a bad look. There's Rimouski. Try and exit the zone. There's Jack Martin. And the 3 former Halifax Mooseheads on Rimouski this year. Matthew Cataford. And Lou Levesque. There's Langevin out to play it. Down the boards for Jack Martin. He gets worked over by St. Martin. Here's the Oceanics. They head to their own zone. This is kicked off the boards. Over to it is Martin. Steers that right to Saint Denis. This is taken away at center ice. It's moved in, line of the net. Keowa. Right up his man off the boards. That was Misha Volatovsky as it comes out to center. This is reeled in by Jonas Wu. Ashtown Ryder Ritchie tries to make a move in on Keowa. Goes all the way to the corner boards. Back up to center. Gets away from Ryder Ritchie. He's chopped in Medicine Hat territory. And they'll go back for it. Here goes Jonas Wu. Drops off. Ritchie looks across off the boards. McKenna with Martin. Ritchie piles in there. And Eric Mateko, the big Latvian, carries it away. But it's all for naught as Maël Levine will play it in the rest of the way. Puck to center, poked out by Waugh. Now comes over for Jonathan Fauchon, turns it around, Paxman back, the shot, that's caught by Harrison Bennigan, who officially...
He understands the junior game and has done a great job. His resume speaks for himself at this level.
Yeah, this is certainly not Willie Desjardins' first go-around as head coach with Medicine Hat. 02 to 2010, first time. As here come Rimouski Oceanic over the line, but plays whistle down for the
Moncton Wildcats in the QMJHL Championship Series. Battled back to take that to 6 games. Ultimately fell up short, but this is a resilient Rimouski Oceanic group.
This is whacked at. Andrew Basha played out to center. Tracked down again by Basha, who returned after a lengthy injury recovery process for Game 1 of the Western League Final and scored 54 seconds into it. This is played around the boards for Hunter St. Martin. He's taken out. And the Oceanics start the breakout. Alexandre Blais. He's in on the wing. High shot on Madigan, no problem. As he gloves that for the whistle.
To success for the Rimouski Oceanic. Be where your feet are.
Not a ton of head coaching experience in the queue, but certainly as a player, former MVP of the league. Joel Perreault, the early 2000s, he was dominant. Quebec Hello. Jonas Wu sends this one off the leg of Matthew off the center. And steered right back into the Rimouski zone. Sharp angle, played off the net, around it comes. Pitching in, Bryce Pickford. Back around behind the net. That's stopped by Langevin. Olivier Tavares over to Anthony Paré, the Rimouski native. As this is deflected in by Mathieu. And now Wu. That's got the break guy. That's turned over. Out in front. There's the shot on Benedict. Made the save at the right pad. As Rimouski back to the long sense, and it's going to be called
off box, and now a first opportunity for all this skill on Medicine Hat to get some puck touches in this game.
Their power play in the postseason was pretty potent. 36.9%, 24 for 65. As Rimouski, possession, cannot clear it. Set up for Weissblatt. Skate along the boards. Now Gavin McKenna down the wing, looking out in front for Liam Ruck. Couldn't connect as Pickford sends it back around. McKenna off to Wu. Pickford to Wu. Now McKenna up high. Long shot. That one carries wide. Pickford swings it right back around the boards. McKenna works it in. And passes off, or it's caught by Weissblatt. Now Gavin McKenna off the wing. Shot loose in front for Ruck. Didn't get it off in time, and Payola clears it to left of the ice for Rimouski.
We heard Craig Button talk about it in the pregame. Gavin McKenna can surprise you. He can surprise everyone on the ice. You have to be so aware. You can.
As he comes around, she's blocked by Lou Levac. Now carried to center. Here's Kate McCann. He's struck to the puck. Tavares with Lou Levac now. And behind the Medicine Hat net. Thomas Belzil. Taken away by Jonas Wu. Picked up the wing, not out. Paré. Well, it's to Tavares with a shot. That's steered aside by Bennigan. Back up the board. Just gets away from Tavares. And goes all the way out. The Rimouski zone.
You know, we always want to talk about the skilled players and the stars at this type of game, but really what it looks like so far is two teams that are well structured. And
so just like his dad, Byron Ritchie, who's an NHLer, he played the '97 Memorial Cup in Hull. His kid Ryder comes through the first goal of this year's tournament in Rimouski. That will be a point for Gavin McKenna, so he's got points at 2 straight now.
Opportunity now for Medicine Hat to build on this lead as he's going to get his stick into the skates of Hunter St. Martin, and now more opportunity for Gavin McKenna and Ryder Ritchie.
Power play did not convert for Medicine Hat. Their first try, but they had some nice looks on it. 2 shots. Rimouski Oceanic had some trouble with the penalty kill this year in the regular season. They were 14th overall of 18 teams in the QMJHL. There's Payola off the boards, looking for Matthew. Was all the way to the line. There's a long shot from Molodyk. That was picked up late, but still in time by Marcus Langevin. Rattled off the boards and out. And get out to play. Drop pass for Oasis Weissblatt. Hand it off, gets it back. Thrown around the boards. Pickford pitching it. Battles with Jack Martin. He gets some support from Matejko. And here goes Pierre-Olivier Waugh. Racers this down the ice. Lance St-Denis catches up to it. And this puck bounces over to Gavin McKenna. And there's McKenna. Center ice. Into the attacking zone. McKenna will set it up. Tries a low-angle shot. That's no problem for Langevin. Pickford passing off to Jonas Wu. Now McKenna with a rip. That's kicked aside. Rebound in front for Pickford. Couldn't get it through. And it's off the glass and out.
Those two shots by Gavin McKenna are not meant to score a goal. That's meant to create a rebound and some kind of chaos in front of the net, a calculated play.
Skating in, tries a shot, blocked by Partie. And the second try goes wide of the net. Well, Newtons turns one around. So comes around the boards, all the way out through center, past Bryce Pickford. We'll go back to get it. Medicine had to try and jam it out to center. Turned over. Side of the net. There's Madigan over to make a big stop on by Levine. As the puck is covered. And the whistle sounds.
Amplified even more because it's a defenseman who can make plays like a forward and really facilitate for the forwards.
Lewski on the breakout. Here is Jonathan Fauchon. Led the QMJHL in point scoring this season. Split it between Blainville, Boisbriand, and Rimouski. As a shot's deflected in front, just missed the net. Comes back over to the boards. Dominic Pilat passing off. Another tip in front. That's stopped by Madigan. That was off the doorstep on the deflection from Jacob Mathieu. Well, Bryce Pickford has this getaway. Here's Pilat dropping off, and that's stolen away. And played out to center by Jonas Wu all the way down the ice. Matter of fact, this will be an icing.
That's a good read. The course of the puck's travel, and Harrison Madigan is able to make two key saves.
Right back to work off the face-off. Rolls around for Andrew Basha. Now Matthew Ward controls at center. Steered away by Langevin. Hard to stop it. Jack Martin. And upper Coverdale, New Brunswick. Takes the breakout. Long pass. Pass Matthew Caniford. Comes back around the boards for Anthony Partie. Cycle around for Caniford. Pressured by Molotowski. Almost got that out in front from Matejko. Instead, it's brought up to center ice. Rimouski will pick it up once again. Partie snaps it in. Stopped by Madigan. Up the wing for Eric Matejko. Shot deflects just wide. And Jonas Wu under pressure. Comes around in front by Levine. Can't get the shot away. Molotowski off the back check. And here goes Rimouski. Back in over the line. By Levine, low shot. No problem for Harrison Madigan. He reaches out with the glove. Out to center. Here goes Andrew Basha. Tough to stop. He goes hard into the far corner. Battle with him and Dominic Pilat. Here they go again. Pilat picks it up now. He'll skate away. Up the center. Here goes Jonathan Fauchon. Trying to pass out in front. St. Martin under pressure from Mathieu. This is played around the boards. Right to Caden McCann. Moved in off the boards by Molotowski. Partie is there. And he gives it away to McCann. Nice just roll away. Back out through center. And Waugh will pick it up. So far, not much going for Rimouski in the first half of the power play. This is shoveled in by Jacob Mathieu. Up the wing. Marcus Pacheco takes a stab at it. Molotowski is along the boards. Battling with Fauchon and Matejko. As Jack Martin has to go back to center to pick it up. This is knocked away. Scooped up by Martin again. Turned out to center ice. Tipped in by Caniford.
It's always nice to rekindle those friendships.
It's a special thing to be part of a championship hockey team at the junior level. Here's Jonas Wu. Passing across. Pickford with a shot. That's kicked aside by Langevin. Medicine had working around. Ritchie off the cycle to Weissblatt. Into the corner, taken away by Luke Coughlin. Medicine hat, get it right back. McKenna passing off. Weissblatt goes down. And the puck returns to Sanders. Pickford tried to snap it in. It goes off the stick out of play. Martin works it in. McCann goes the other way off the boards with the Langevin. Now Jack Martin. It's a bump from Newtons. As it's tossed around behind the net. Stopped by Langevin. Dubé rattled into the boards by McCann. As Jonas Wu snaps it through the middle for Ryder Ritchie. Off the Weissblatt. He's knocked down. The battle for it here at the line. It's carried right back in by Medicine Hat. The backhander from Pickford. That's going to go high out of play.
Able to snag that with the glove.
The third QMJHL team Langevin's played for already. He started with Shawinigan. He was acquired earlier this year from Acadie Bathurst. He's provided some real quality value here for Rimouski. As Madigan is out to stop it. Played the majority of his Western League career with Lethbridge before being brought over in a trade. Matthew Ward tosses it in. With the Milwaukee Admirals last year, Ozzy got his first 5 NHL games this year with the Nashville Predators. As the Tigers control off the faceoff, they are on the power play off the far wing. An early shot from Pickford rattles around. Gavin McKenna, Molendijk over to Pickford, steps in. Back around McKenna, quick shot, and back in front. Rock put it just wide of the net. And it comes from McKenna. Stepping in. Threatened to shoot, but did it. Instead passes off. Pickford with a look. That goes off the glass. Back to the line. Tanner Molendijk. Lost the handle on it, but McKenna's right there. Tries a shot. It's deflected wide. This goes past Lee and Rock around from McKenna. Skating in behind the net. Right out to Weissblatt. He double clutched with it as Cataford gets it to the boards, but not out. Molendijk gets it through the middle, tries a shot. That's off the body. McKenna back to the line, quick one-touch over to Pickford. Back to Molendijk. Pickford again, steps in, Wester scores! Ryder Ritchie up the center for McKenna. Over the line, onside.
Oh, he thought they were offside.
Back the other way. Here goes Corsell, a break, and he put it wide. And we got a lot going on here late in the second period. There's another whistle behind the play.
They take a 3-2 lead late in the second period.
17 playoff goals in a single postseason for Jacob Mathieu. That's a Rimouski Oceanic franchise record since they relocated from St. John in 1995. As here go the Tigers on the attack. Taken away by Dubé. And now Mathieu, he's got his first at the Memorial Cup this year. He continues his goal-scoring tendencies at 41 in the QMJHL regular season. As Maxime Corsell directs it ahead. Waugh drops it off. There's a shot from Dubé. That missed blocker side. Weissblatt skips out to center. Here goes Gavin McKenna. Little backhander. That's stopped by Langevin.
Good stick on it, but Langevin's able to keep it out. A nice first 30 seconds for the Medicine Hat Tigers.
Right off the face-off, Medicine Hat to work again. One-time shot from Pickford is turned aside. Well, first 40 seconds of this period are any indication. East Langevin could be seeing a lot of rubber in this third period. There's Andrew Basha. Later right to Sanson. It's taken away. Though out in front. Fanning on the shot. Goes back to Wu. Back over to Pickford. Big block by Cataford. That gets a rise out of the Rimouski bench. Back around for Jonas Wu. Passing over. Pickford. Shot. Scores! Pickford out. Fielding away. McKenna gives it away, though. That's curled out in front by Ward. Milo Pekka-Muhinen in to play it. This will be settled down by Rimouski. For Saul. Drops it back for Pierre-Olivier Waugh. And here goes Mathieu Cadafor. And Basha turns it back into his own zone. Pickford. Played ahead for Gordon Carroll. Stopped at the line. Back the other way it goes. Gordon Carroll on it again. Attempt right to Sansonens. Give it back to Gordon Carroll. Shielding the puck from Matejko. He'll lob it into the corner.
That's about a 15-second sequence where both teams do a good job. Tigers a 1-goal lead.
9 goals in the playoffs, 41 in the regular season. And now 1 in the Memorial Cup. Gavin McKenna's won so many times now on the international stage with Canada. Gets it done in the Western Hockey League playoffs with Medicine Hat. And now bringing another multi-point effort here for Medicine Hat with him right into the Memorial Cup. And Rabasha off the boards to the line for Wu. Played across Matejko. Takes that off the boards out to center. This is lobbed well high in the net. In fact, it goes over the glass. Well, hockey people from all over the hockey world have taken notice of Gavin McKenna in particular, that magnificent goal.
And it's so unorthodox because he's got his back to the goaltender, but he's such a dangerous player when he does that.
This is frozen by Langevin. Wanted to play it. Quick whistle.
NHL, Gavin McKenna, 56 games played this year, 129 points in the regular season. Remarkable stuff.
And not many of those first overall picks, though, throughout history, Frank. You've got on to play in a Memorial Cup. There's Medicine Hat. Took this in from center. It's Weisblatt right to Cadafor. As Cadafor wheels around the net.
You know, the other thing is this is a tournament mostly for 19 and 20-year-olds, and we saw Michael Misa last year. Of course, that wasn't his draft year.
But they have rocketed up their rebuild. They didn't win a playoff series each of the last 2 years, but obviously you put it together perfectly fine this season. Pickford. Short pass over to McKenna. Turn that ahead to center. Comes right back to him. Now Pickford. Long-range pass. That doesn't find the mark either. That's going to be an icing.
It reminds me a little bit of Tanner Pearson when he went through the draft, where he was not drafted the first time around and then had a monster year, and then LA stepped up and picked him in the first round.
Former Barrie Cole, Tanner Pearson. This is another icing.
They're on you. You know, you get a little more of an audition tape to build here, and maybe there was someone who didn't get to see you as much as they wanted. Well, they're watching this, and you get an opportunity to persuade them.
Tigers behind their own net. Here's Pickford. Elevated out to center by McKenna. Zips it across. Keeps the can off the boards. Out through center ice. Now Paré feeds it back up the wing. Saved it easy. Pressure, throws it down low, back out in front. Intended for Matejko. Goes all the way back to Langevin. Here's Payowa. Up to Levine. Now Cadafor. Pursued by Bryce Pickford. The puck comes loose right to McKenna. Going through the middle. It's going to be jammed out. And retrieved by Pierre-Olivier Waugh. Spins it right into the slot for Andrew Basha. He'll chug ahead through center. There goes Basha down the wing. He'll turn around. And feed it off the Weisblatt. Taken by Mathieu up the center. He'll flick it in. Ryder Ritchie snaps it over. Payowa breaks it up the blue line. Pourcel back the other way. Pourcel goes down. And there's going to be a penalty upcoming. It's up at Ward. Langevin out to play in a hurry. Medicine Hat Tiger team had 17 shorthanded goals in the regular season, second in the Western League, and another 5 in the playoffs. They are dangerous. Went down a man. Here's Cataford. Passing off to Fauchon. Up top, Waugh. Cataford. Back to Fauchon. Shot, they score!
In the third period.
Here's a good sign for Medicine Hat fans. Oasis Weisblatt will not miss shift after that hit from Corsall. He will lose his face-off as Rimouski snap it to the line. It's picked off by Weisblatt. McKenna tries to settle it down. Taken away by Levine. Out to center. Here's Cataford. Cataford with a shot that goes wide. Even Farley put it wide again. Now Martin across for Waugh. To the end boards, taken away. And carried up ice by Wu. Ritchie. Bumps it back for Weisblatt, who shoots it in.
Accidentally on purpose, and Andrew Basha comes to his goaltender's defense. So, 4-on-4.
Medicine Hat win the face-off back. So 4-on-4 we go. Perhaps a little foreshadowing for what might be to come here. If we don't get another goal in regulation, that would be 3-on-3 overtime, which we have seldom done since they changed it to 3-on-3 back in 2022 in St. John. Here's Gavin McKenna. Up to the line. It's taken away by Martin. With the cross. Here, Olivier Waugh. Around the boards. All the way out through center. Waugh handles it.
6th-round pick of the Florida Panthers, and boy, do they need another player who's in the mix all night long. That's a guy who could fit in on that roster, add some serious speed as well.
There's St. Martin again, trying to reach him out of the forecheck. He is a second-generation Medicine Hat Tiger. His father, Blair, played for the Tigers in the 90s. As here goes Jack Martin on the attack for Rimouski. Taken away by Matthew Ward. Passing ahead. Here goes Jonas Wu. Down the wing all by himself. Ritchie through center with a look. That's blocked by Peo Waugh. Final 50 seconds. Here goes Jacob Matsu. Driving in down low. As they pile up for it off the end boards. Into the corner. Cataford back for Corsall as Matthew had broken his stick. He's got a new one. Off the wing, Fauchon for Waugh. Back to Fauchon with a pass across. That got right to Corsall. It's quickly taken away, but not cleared out. Back off the wing. Cataford right to Ritchie. Pass through to McKenna. Slowly through center. Here's Ritchie waiting. Tries the shot, missed it. Back in front. And Rimouski recover it.